What if we told you that most of your iconic writers, groundbreaking musicians, and empathetic counselors have something in common regardless of their different levels of impact in the world? INFPs have always ranked here the creativity business, and our video today looks at how this God-given ability can help them build successful businesses. The introverted, intuitive, feeling, prospective personality trait is characterized by open-mindedness, imagination, quietness, and sensitivity to the needs of others. They are not called healers and mediators for nothing because they do have an affinity for the emotions of others. So much so that they can even internalize the negative moods and mindsets of others. Caring is at their core, and so is imagination and creativity. The first way INFPs can successfully build a person is by following their intuition. That sounds like uncommon advice, because most people recommend acquiring some skills and probably following a particular business trend. However, the MBTI manual from which most of the personality traits are derived has shown that creativity correlates strongly with intuition. Business experts actually agree that intuition is a very important factor in running a business because most successful entrepreneurs rely on their intuition as much as their rational minds. Logic alone isn't enough for running a business, and neither is a competitive edge. Sifting through to find the right data information in a dog-eat-dog world can be very daunting if you do not have an intuition that you can trust. Paying attention to your gut feeling can help you decide what to avoid and what to pursue. So INFPs definitely have an advantage in the business world because, unlike other personality types that will have to hone this skill, they already possess it. A good intuition is good for business, especially in weighing options, which we will discuss shortly. The second way by which INFP entrepreneurs use their creative minds to build successful businesses is by starting projects. If you never start, you will never know you have the capability, will you? INFPs have a propensity to dive into creative projects spontaneously and are known to be great at starting new projects because of their imaginative thinking. Undoubtedly, some of these projects become very successful because they are able to see and create things in a way that most people may not have visualized. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel as we move on to discuss the third way by which creativity plays a major role in the business of an INFP. INFPs are great at perception, which subsequently makes them good at picking the right options. The perceiving aspect of an INFP means that they like to have a lot of options from which they can pick from. INFPs are curious by nature and often lost in their own thoughts. They require a certain amount of emotional intensity before they are moved to action. And so, if they have few options, then they may not have the exact passion they would want to pursue. Perception is great for a successful business because, just like intuition, it is the driving force for an INFP entrepreneur. Everything points out to the fact that INFPs are driven to pursue what they feel like pursuing rather than what others think is right for business. How does this characteristic contribute to their creativity and the successful turnout of their businesses? Let's find out in a bit. Even when it comes to their relationship with others, INFPs have a way of making the people around them feel loved and heard. As healers or mediators, the creative ability to resolve conflicts and issues without bias creates a successful business atmosphere for their employees. While entrepreneurs might be largely responsible for the push and drive of a company, employees are also major contributors to a company's success. Just like the popular saying, "Happy wife, happy life." When employees are happy and comfortable, working life turns out to be successful. Gravitating toward the emotions of others makes them feel appreciated and even work harder because they know their efforts are being recognized and they will be rewarded accordingly. Then again, INFPs are people of strong integrity when it comes to their passions and values. What they think, believe in, and perceive are the only things that can convince them in a particular direction in business. They are largely influenced by their passions and their values when starting a business, and even in the running of the business. INFPs are deeply in touch with their values and make decisions by asking themselves what feels right. Following their values is one of their creative expressions, since they are not necessarily the best communicators. The foundation upon which most INFP businesses are built are largely their personal principles and passions. That is why in a crisis, they are also able to quickly come up with solutions because they understand what it takes to run the business. INFPs lead by inspiration and grow through experience. That is why they make some of the most successful entrepreneurs. Check out our other video on the top 5 most powerful traits of an INTP entrepreneur for more. We'll come your way again and enjoy the rest of your time.